Hello again. So today I'm going to try to clean up this little small area right here. So I'm going to try to find a place to set you so you can kind of watch. Tip down a little bit. The wind is coming up. All of a sudden it's gotten really windy. It's only supposed to be like, I don't know, 15 to 20 miles an hour wind. I'm a little bit kind of protected right here next to the house, but it's cooler today. It looks like it's 73 right now. It's only supposed to get to be about 75, and I see my hectia fell over again. I got to repot that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a different pot, and I'm going to set some little rocks around it to kind of help balance it out. But I'll do that today because it is getting some roots. So I know it's trying to root itself. So let's pull this purple stuff out. I hate to do it because there are a ton of new buds, but it's just too much here. Way, way too much. So I'll try to keep my butt out of the camera view a little bit if I can. But, oh, and I see right off, there's some little spiders with their funnel webs down in here. They're kind of cool. So I'm hoping this will just break off. Yeah, it's going to be real easy to pull, I think, out of here. But this stuff is just taking over everything. And I'm probably going to end up spreading seeds everywhere, but that's okay. At least I can kind of keep an eye on it. If it starts to grow back, you know, if I see it sprouting, I'll just pull it out. I'll lift it up a little bit. It's definitely filled. I don't know if you can, it's like really wet, filled with some sort of a, I don't know, gel, watery kind of thing. So it's certainly is succulent compatible because I rarely ever water over here. But it's too big and takes over everything, as you can clearly see. I gotta be careful. I don't want to reach down in there and grab a snake. Clean up this echeveria while I'm right here. I can hear a lot of crispy leaves under here that need to come out. Couple more weeds. But look at this mess. Whew. This echeveria is absolutely beautiful. And it's got a lot of pups under here to make a little space for them. Clean all that out. I'll do some more in a minute, but let's keep pulling. Let's keep pulling this. I think it was in a little tiny pot. I never planted it in the ground, and it's just gone absolutely crazy. The only positive thing about it is it's protecting this calico. Is it calico or is it? It's not cotyledon. Lucier. That's down in here. That'll probably die once it gets exposed to the bright light because it's been in the shade. But it's all flattened anyway. Ugh, it's going to look so good to clean this area up. All these weeds back over here will all come out. This is just coming out super easy. It's heavy, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it because my lawn and garden can is full from my gardeners pulling out those roses. So I don't have any way to get rid of it. And we filled the trash can today, mowing in the pigs' yards to get rid of some of the foxtail. Look at this. This is just crazy. Whew. What am I? Oh, my little guy. Look at him. Haven't seen him in a while. Okay, watch for snakes. Yeah, so this all was in a pot right here. Hi, Spud. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, little man? Whew. It is hot right here. The wind is not hitting me at all. And so it feels like it's 90 degrees. But here's a little pot. It's clearly grown through into the ground, which I had suspected. But if I can just break it off and oops, pull it out and knock you over, stand you back up. Went for a little ride there. Where were you? You were, I think, right here. How? Where did I have you? How did I get you? Let's put you farther back. There we go. All right, now my butt's really going to be in the shot, but it probably was already, so that's okay. Pardon my butt. All right, let's see. What a mess. Now once I get all this cleaned out of here, I'm really going to have a mess on the lawn to clean up. Okay, so a whole bunch more. Be careful because there's some cactus over here. And I don't want to jab myself. Ugh. Stuff is really heavy. Really, really heavy. Oh, happy Mother's Day, by the way. Today is Sunday, Mother's Day. Although this will probably be next week by the time I post this. But hopefully everybody had a pleasant Mother's Day. Got to spend some time with your moms if you still have one. Sadly, I don't. Whew. This cactus over here, this tall one here, is doing really good. All right. There we go. Get that whole pot out of there. Now this, okay, what am I looking at here? Is this all the Lucier? It's kind of hard to tell the difference here between the two plants. So I need to get a bucket to clean all this up. And then I'm going to get a piece of shade screen to throw over that. So I'll be right back, because otherwise the sun is just going to fry that poor plant right there. All right, I don't know where. I got to move you back farther because you're drooping again. Are you going to stay there? You're dropping down, aren't you? I don't know where my big bucket is. Hopefully you'll stay there. Okay. You're a little farther away, but I can't find my bucket, but this will work to clean some of this stuff up with. And then I'll put this over the top of that plant to give it a little protection. But first, I want to get everything cleaned up here. So, get some of these weeds out of here too. A lot of them, they're super strong, these weeds, and they break off instead of pulling out. So that kind of makes it difficult to get cleaned up to get them out of here. All these leaves down in here. Oh, this is gonna look so much better. I've been wanting to get this done for a long time, but then I always end up doing something else. Have you fallen over yet? Helicopter. Alrighty. I think I can just kind of go from here, pick up all of this. God, this plant was just growing like crazy. I set that there. And then, there we go. Just kind of lean down without falling and breaking something. Some of these pots, these plastic pots, are pretty brittle. You don't want to put any weight on them because they will break. This thing has this huge root in the ground here. Try to pull it out. Look at that. We'll need to throw some fresh top dressing down back here to make it look nice again. And then let's get all this detritus out of here. Clean up everything that's broken off. And this plant will probably come back if I keep it protected. What are they barking at? Those dogs. It is scorching hot right here with the sun beating on me. And my phone hopefully won't overheat too quickly because I know it's going to get hot and probably shut off. But I wanted to get this done earlier, but at the same time, I wanted to work on the area where all the roses got pulled out. And I wanted to get that done while it was still somewhat cool this morning. And then I ran out of weed eater string. I went to Home Depot. They don't carry it. My weed eater's a Craftsman. And so maybe they just don't carry Craftsman supplies there. I know Sears was always the sales place for Craftsman tools. This cactus is very spiky. I have to be really careful. I don't want to poke myself. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in here. And this Quiche Con is very spiky also. If you go in too quick, you'll definitely get poked. So, get back here. That looks so much better. So much better. All right. This is probably good enough for right now. So let me just go ahead and throw this right over the top of this. I'm going to double it. So that'll keep the sun off of it. And then little by little, I'll be able to just leave it uncovered. It's still early. What time is it? It's only noon right now, so in another hour or so, that'll be in the shade anyway. All right, so let's come down here. Are we still running? Yeah, my phone's pretty warm. Okay, so now I want to get back in here. So you see all these weeds? I need to go get some gloves, and I'll be right back. And I can see my Petalantis, I believe that one is macrocarpus, is dead. So I'll pull that out also. But look at how this thing is, this cactus is growing. So I had cut it off and then planted it in the ground, then cut it again, and it's grown a whole new arm on top of that weak spot. So I'm definitely going to have to at some point cut that again, because eventually it's going to fall over. All right, let me go and get some gloves. All right, well, all my gloves are out in the back in the barn, and all I could find is these cheap little gardening gloves. They're too small, but they should be okay. They should work for this. What if I move this over here? Look out, dogs. Move, move, move. Chop, chop. Out of the way. So how about if I put you over here? Like so. Will you stay there? There's a huge milkweed. Whoops, directly underneath the camera. Get it while I'm standing there before the flower opens up. See, are we still filming? We are. Can't believe my phone hasn't overheated yet. Look at this pile of weeds. Whew. All right, look at the difference with that thing gone. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go inside, give my phone a rest because it's really hot. And then I'm gonna come back out here when the sun goes over and it's shaded in a couple hours. And I'll finish getting all this section cleaned up, because I want to do, whoa, from there over to the spiral stairs there. I want to get that whole section done. I accidentally shut you off. Yeah, so I want to get that whole section done. I want to get all the little weeds out of here and clean up my little lava ribbons, add some more, and then put some fresh top dressing down. And I need to trim the tips off of this aloe. So this at some point is going to have to be pulled out and reset because it's getting really big. And this is a bush aloe. This is Aloe cameronii. And you can tell how green it is, that it's well rooted in there and it's doing really well. It blooms like crazy. But I did get a lot of burned tips over the winter because we did hit a couple days in the mid-20s. One night we hit 25. That's crazy. We never get that low here. It was only for a couple hours, but it was enough to do some damage to the plant. So I'll be back when it's shady out here, and we'll get this finished. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this big pile of plant, because I can't leave it here on the lawn. It'll just kill the grass. So maybe I'll bring a tarp over, throw it on a tarp, and just drag it over there, and try and stuff it into one of the trash cans. We'll see. We'll see. You know what? I should look it up and see if this is toxic. If it's not, I could probably throw that over for the goats. Isn't that pretty though? Look at the, they're just so pretty purple. But yeah, I had to get rid of them. Had to get them down. So this will be fine here for a few minutes, but I'll definitely have to get rid of it. But yeah, oh, that looks so much better. I see I've got some cracks in the side of the house that we need to fill in with putty. You know, this house is 30-something years old, 32 years old. And it definitely needs some work around the outside. I had it done once, but I need to have it done again. Okay, I'm babbling. I'm going to go inside. I'll be back. Okay, so we're back. And it is almost 3. And there's a kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Buttercup. And a dog. Good boy, Spud. Yeah, I know. Good boy. Stay away from the cat, though. Okay, so now you can see it's shaded on this side, and Dave came out and cleaned up all this big pile. He loaded it all up, and got rid of that for me, so that was nice. I didn't have to figure out what to do with it. So here we are back, and as you can see, it looks way better. But now we need to get in there and tidy up the top dressing and the lava rock, straighten that out, and get the rest of those weeds pulled out. So where am I going to set you? I could set you here for a second and move that plant again. It's always in my way. And then I think what I'll do is, God, this wind is just crazy. It's really getting windy. I think I'll go ahead and clean out this little section down in there. You can't really see down in there. Maybe I can move you back a little bit. Can I move you back to here? It's a little farther away. Okay, is that going to stay there? If the cat leaves it alone, don't touch it. So I'm going to come over and try and get some of these small weeds out of here. I hear my squealy. Hello, mamas. I hear you. Squealy pig. Her room is right there, and her windows are open, and her door is right there, so she might actually be outside. Yeah, she's talking. I got a weed growing right up through my abalone shell. Let's get all these out. Try to get them out by the roots, if I can. Most of them are just breaking off. What is that? Oh, we got hawks. What are those? Those are the small, are those marlins? Those are little small hawks. There's two of them kind of squabbling. Little hunters. Should I move the pig out of the way? I don't know if you can hear those hawks screeching up there. They're flying around after each other. There's one. The other one's over there. Let's see, where'd he go? Ooh, right there. It's hard to get them on camera because they move around so much. There he is. And the other one went that direction. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there. I hear you, Squealy. Okay. Let's get back. So maybe, Buttercup, can't leave that alone. Maybe we'll zoom back out. She's gonna knock this over. Stop it. Stop it. It's pretty crooked. Maybe I'll have to put it back over here. I'm trying to keep my butt out of the frame. You know, you don't want to sit there and look at my big butt. I might just edit all this out of here anyway. All right. Can you see the hummingbird right there? Oh, just flew off. There's a hummingbird. And he's checking out the flowers on this thing. I don't know if I got him. I was trying to move real quiet and real slow. But I have a ton of hummingbirds here. I have feeders in the back. And so we have our north birds and our south birds. And they don't let each other feed out of the feeders. Okay, let's move the giant pig. Oh my gosh, this is heavy. Over onto the lawn, out of the way. And then I can get in here a little bit better. So, hey.
Hello again.
Idiot. Look at, can you believe this stalk?
pretty impressive.
Okay.
That plant and I got a lot in common.
You know I'm going to edit that, right? Goofball. Okay, let's see if I can get the weeds out of here without getting poked. So this is a Pringlei in this pot here. And it's got all kinds of little stuff. I should get my tweezers over here. Ah! There's one weed there. I'm trying to get it with just one hand, but it keeps breaking off. Whoa! If you can pull them away, and then you can get a hold of them, you can usually get them out by the roots because they're small still. But I need my tweezers or I'm going to get poked. Get all this cleaned out of here. Yeah, there's a lot of clover. So there's poppies growing back in here also. A couple of weeds in here and some dead plants. All right, I don't want to move that. I'm kind of worried that that might have grown through the pot into the ground. Alrighty. What am I gonna do? You know what? I need a tool. I need some sort of a tool. Maybe we'll work over here. Oh, you know what I did notice is, check this out. While I'm twisting around down in here is see the little pup that's growing on this. It's growing on here. There's a little pup on there, down in there growing. So that one's gonna have, that's where the piece broke off. Oh, little hummingbird. See him right there? Getting all the flowers over there. He's right behind that cactus. Whoa. They're so cute. I could just watch them all day long. All right, back to work. Okay, so I'll have to figure out how to get back into there a little easier. Problem is, this cactus here, you know, is like right in the way. And look at the spines on this thing. Whoa, look at those spines. You don't want to get up next to those. Alrighty, hold on. Let's see. I hear you, Squealy Pig. I know, you're in here. Can you see her in there? No. But she is in there. I'm not gonna show up through the screen. Hi, mamas. I hear you, baby. Squealy. Squealy Pig. What are you doing? What are you doing? Good girl. Why don't you go outside? She can go out if she wants to. Okay, where am I going to set you? So, you know what I think I'll do is set you, if I can, right over there. Cat, that is not a litter box. No. No. Get out of there. Go. Shoo. Go on. Go. Yes, I'm throwing rocks at my cat because she's digging a little cat hole and is gonna, well, you know what she's gonna do. I don't have to tell you. That's what cats do. But she's got 5 acres to do that, and she has a litter box. There's Squeal. She came out. So she can go out in her room whenever she, or out in her yard whenever she wants. All the foxtails that are down in here. They're horrible. They're everywhere. It's hard to, they fall apart. If you have foxtails, you understand the struggle. If you don't, count your blessings. Because they are a nightmare to deal with, especially if you have animals. They get in their noses and their ears and their eyes, and we actually just took Spud to the vet. Dave did while I was camping because he got a foxtail in his nose. No, in his ear. It was in his ear. You could see him shaking his head. And so he was pretty certain. Look at this. This used to stick way up above these plants. Now you can hardly see them. Still hoping I don't reach under and grab a snake because I cannot see where I'm putting my hand. Getting all this out also helps to let air under here so that it helps to keep the pests from having that nice little spot to hide out. You want to get some airflow to the underside of these plants. This is so satisfying. Pulling all this dead stuff out of here. Can you see me? Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Spider web. Doesn't feel like black widow, so I'm not, too concerned about it. You can really tell the difference in a black widow's web, how strong they are. Ugh. Ugh. My aching back. So I think I'm going to leave this aeonium. I believe this one's a Schwarzkopf. But I might pull this out. And as you can see, a lot of it has bloomed out. So I'll at least cut those out and tidy it up. It's grown over my pig. Alrighty. Let's see if I can turn around and get some of this stuff without stepping on anything I don't want to step on. Ooh, this thing's so sharp. All this webs and foxtails and stuff just sticks into these spines. Oh, I think that was a weed coming up from the other side. See this thing rocking? It's really top heavy. Look at that. This piece right here, I don't know how strong it's going to be. Hi, Pippi. Hello, my love bug. She's sleeping right in here watching me. Alrighty, I need to see if I can put that foot there. It'd be perfect, but I can't do that. I can't even really back it up to where I can get, because what I want to do is get these weeds, oh, there we go, right here, from the base of this tree, of this cactus. All all this clover. And I'm getting so many stickers in my hands because I don't have gloves on. I have a hard time working with gloves. Well, I need to get some sort of a tool to dig some of these weeds out of the ground because they're really, really strong and you cannot pull them out. They break off. Every time you try to pull them, they break off. There's still a ton of clover under here. And that'll pull more. Okay. Pull that off, let that breathe. I'll throw that shade screen back over that again tomorrow. Okay. Let's see if we can get some more of this clover out of here. And all these little pieces of foxtail, those are actually seeds. So it's going to want to come back next year. But next year I think what I'll do is I'll get in here with my little sprayer and I'll just carefully spray around some of these areas with Roundup. I know a lot of people hate Roundup, but sometimes that's the only thing that works here. I think, was there something in this spot here? I'm wondering, did I have something there at one time? I don't think so. I'm going to put some fresh top dressing down on there. Oops, knocking my rocks around. My little, how that was sitting like that, maybe. Yeah, I'll drop some in there. What I need to do is take my blower and kind of blow through here a little bit. That's a lot better. There's still a ton of clover in here. And then, so these weeds, those weeds break off. They don't pull out. They have such a strong root and it's so hard to get them out of there, but that looks 100% better. You know, just this little section right here. Let me put my ball back over here. Every time I look, I find another clump of clover. It's everywhere. It's my fault. I should have gotten after it, you know, in the fall last year when I noticed it was starting to creep in, but I didn't. So I'm paying for it now. But you know what? Let's go get a pair of nippers and trim up this aloe. Okay. I'll move you over here. And we'll just start trimming this up. And you can just cut off the dead. It's very easy to cut these because the plant is so soft. As you can see, or not see because you fell over and I didn't even notice, but all of the new growth is very healthy. You can see all the new growth in there. None of those tips are burned, so it's just It's just the ones that just didn't like that cold snap we had, which I believe was like in February or March. I mean, it was late. It was very late. Okay. What else am I going to do? This stuff all looks... I've got most of what I can get done. I do need to get right down in there, right next to that pig. But I need some gloves on for that. It's that really sticky, weird stuff. And then I need to prune back all of those aeoniums that bloomed out, because aeoniums are monocarpic, so when they bloom, the mother plant will just die off. I'll probably let these aloes, the blooms on these aloe blue elf, go a little longer, because the hummingbirds are really, they're all over these right now. So I like that. I did work on this today. So I got in here with my weed eater and this big pile here. Got my pear trees blowing sideways. That is a pear tree. And I think I need to give it some support maybe. I don't know. I mean, you can't move it in the barrel, but it's growing sideways. Anyway, this big pile will need to be raked up, but I'll probably have Dave bring his little wagon back over and I can just load it all up in the wagon. And then I did a lot over here also, but I ran out of weed eater string. So I ordered some from Amazon because Home Depot didn't have it. The hardware store didn't have it. I think I might have said that earlier, but I just need to get all that cleaned up and out of there. And then I'm gonna spray it really good so nothing grows back. And then for now, I'm going to set some pots out here just to, get some of these that I've got all crowded in here. They can take the full sun. And they've been out in the full sun. What time is it? See, it's 3:30 now, and they're still in the full sun. So anything over here, like probably that barrel cactus, this opuntia, maybe these two things. Well, that I'm probably going to get rid of because I've got a big one in this pot. And that is a cholla. We always grew up calling them staghorns, but they're just starting to bloom. And they're going to be really pretty, and the pollinators love them. Hummingbirds like them, the bees like them. My little yucca, I have just been neglecting it. That was a cutting from a friend of Dave's. I have two. The other one's kind of meh, But this one's doing really good. So I just need to clean up. I'll probably just leave it right there. It'll be too heavy to move, but I'll clean up the pot so it looks nice. Maybe throw some top dressing in there. I put a bunch of portulacaria in there last winter and some sedum. The sedum is still doing really good, but the portulacaria, it froze this winter, so it's just, most of it's just dead. So I should just pull all that out of there. There's a little piece still hanging on. But yeah, so that's gone. I need to pick up all this off the lawn here, and that looks much better. So I think I'll leave this video here, and then I'll be back to do this side over here probably tomorrow morning. So I need to clean this out, get rid of that citronella, get all this grass out of there. I might leave all these daisies in there and whatever else is in there, all these flowers, because they're still really pretty right now. And probably plant some more flowers in there later. This little Americana, I can acclimate that. It's used to getting afternoon shade, but I can acclimate that and put it over out in the sun also, and it'll do fine in full sun. Yeah, so yeah, I'll bring you back tomorrow and we'll get this half done. And then I'll show you what it looks like after I get the top dressing put on there. It's not worth filming because I'm just basically walking back and forth, so you would just be staring because my pile is right there. Right there. So I just have to walk back and forth with a little bucket, and I'll refresh that, and then I'll show you how that looks. But so for now, I think I'm happy with how this looks. I will spray in here, tidy up a little bit more, but at least I got that big plant out of there, and this will give you something to to watch while you're drinking your coffee, if you so desire. I hope you do. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Okay, we're back real quick. I'm just like, you know what, I can't leave you with, looking at that mess on the yard. So I did get everything cleaned up. I picked up the rest of the leaves that were laying here and all the weeds, put all my stuff away, put these pots back in there, and look at that. Look at, she's going right back in there. You better just be laying down in there. But everything's nice and tidied up, and I'll get back out here probably tomorrow and get that section done. But doesn't that look way better? Look at that, it's nice and clean, and I still got a lot of little weeds in there, but I need a tool to pull those out, but I'll get those done. So, okay, see you next time.